Well, I've bought a new car, and it's this, the ugliest car ever made. This is a 1989 Nissan S-Cargo, and it looks like a snail. That was intentional. You see, the French word for snail is escargot, and Nissan was making a small cargo van. So they figured, small cargo, S-Cargo, escargot. And they decided that this play on words was simply too good to pass up. So they made a small cargo van, they named it the S-Cargo, and it looks like a snail. Escargot. It is the ugliest car ever made. And now I own it. Let me show you around. Before I get started, let me tell you a little bit about the S-Cargo. It was a real vehicle sold only in Japan from 1989 to 1991. It is a real automobile with a real license plate and a real VIN number, and it can be driven on real roads, even though it looks like the kind of thing a university might use to cruise around on the sidewalks and tell people to stop walking on the grass. It weighs 2,100 pounds, and it has a 3-speed automatic transmission mated to a carbureted 75 horsepower 4-cylinder engine. Perfect for highways. Oh, and one other thing. It's the ugliest car ever made. First, the main reason why I think this car is so ugly. Because they actually designed it to look like a snail. Why would you do this? There are so many cuddly, fuzzy, lovable animals in the animal kingdom, and surely Nissan must have considered making its car look like one of these, but instead they were like, nah, we'll just make it look like this. And so this is the ugliest car ever made. Let's examine it in greater detail. We'll start in front, where the S-Cargo has these beady fixed pop-up headlights because a snail has these beady fixed pop-up eye things. I also like the front because it gives you a chance to see the S-Cargo's insane proportions. At 72.4 inches high, the S-Cargo is only an inch shorter than my Range Rover, and yet it's 18 inches narrower. This couldn't possibly lead to any rollover risk. Ugliest car ever made. The side is where you really see the resemblance to a snail because it has this curved dome structure that really makes it look like one, which is a great idea for a cargo van because this taller roof means you can get a lot of stuff back there, except the tallest point of the curve is right over the passenger compartment. Then it all sort of just tails off to really sell that snail design. Ugliest car ever made. Another interesting feature is on the front and the side of the S-Cargo, these giant gray strips that go over the entire side of the car and over the front wheels. Why are they there? I have no idea. Ugliest car ever made. And then you have the crown jewel of the whole S-Cargo design, the rear. Instead of rounding off the top and finishing out the whole snail thing, it kind of just stops. So you have this curvy front end with the curvy wheel arches and the circular headlights, and then you have this curvy dome structure over the whole roof of the car, and then flat. Ugliest car ever made. But of course, I bought this car, so as you may have already guessed, I kind of like it. And indeed, I do. In fact, I got it from Japanese Classics, the same dealer in Virginia who sold me my Skyline GTR. And they have this amazing inventory of modified Nissans and old rare Toyota and Honda sports cars and classic SUVs and performance motorcycles. And I looked at all that and I called them and I said, "Can you get me an S-Cargo?" And they were like, "Are you completely insane?" And I said, "Yeah." And they said, "All right, we can probably find one for you." And so, for more of my thoughts on the S-Cargo, click the link below to check out my column on autotrader.com/oversteer. And stay tuned, because I have many more hilarious upcoming plans for this, the ugliest car ever made.